I'm Zach. I'm from Fraser Health.
Pleased to meet you. Want to show you around?
Perfect. So today, I'm doing an inspection here at this food processor. We'll be looking at making sure that sanitizers are available, that the staff are following proper hygiene practices, making sure that coolers and other cooking equipment is functioning properly. So there's a wide range of things that we are working towards to make sure that food safety and sanitation are being followed closely. So I love my job because every day is a new day. I enjoy seeing the collaboration with our health unit and seeing their successes, because when our operators are successful, we're successful.
Our environmental health program here at BCIT trains students to become environmental public health officers or inspectors. And in that capacity, we inspect water systems, restaurants, sewage disposal systems, pools and spas, and we even do tobacco control, making sure stores do not sell tobacco to minors.
I chose to come to BCIT because it is one of the few schools across Canada that offers the environmental health program. The instructors are all previous environmental health officers, and that's great because they can give us a lot of their knowledge and their experience in the field, and they make everything that we learn, they make it really applicable to the job.
Here at BCIT, we work you hard. 2 years worth of very intensive instructions, and we offer a 3-month practicum to all of our students, and so they get their training necessary to become a certified public health inspector after they're done with us.
So in the end of the day, it's about healthy communities. It makes me feel good that I've done my part. I'm a member of that community, and we get to do it together, and that makes me proud to do my job, to be a public health inspector.
So what is environmental public health? So I touched on this already. Environmental public health is public health. So there are a few, different aspects of public health. One is how people think of the public health nurses. So they're the ones out there giving out vaccinations, looking at babies, that kind of thing, checking on babies. So that's the nursing side of public health, talking to people about STIs, etc. Environmental public health is everything else. So as I mentioned, it's about the food you eat, food safety. It's about the air that you breathe. It's about the water that you drink. It's about people operating personal services like hair salons, nail salons, swimming pools, etc. Those all fall under environmental public health. So it's a very broad category. Another name for environmental public health officers are health inspectors. So if you ever think of, of health inspectors or people who look at that type of thing, food inspectors, etc., those are all environmental public health officials. Most recently during the pandemic, if everyone recalls, just a couple years ago, when Dr. Bonnie Henry was on the news every day talking about how health officers are going out and about doing everything, environmental public health officers are those health officers. Our graduates are very much the boots on the ground when it comes to looking after everyone's health in our society, really. Next page, please. So our program is a 2-year full-time bachelor's program. So you do need some post-secondary credits coming into the program. And we basically the first 2 years of a degree. And then once you join us, we serve as the 3rd and 4th years of a 4-year degree program. So we are a degree program. We have the small class sizes. Currently, our class size is set at 26 as the maximum. And there's a combination of field trips, labs, lectures, etc. And we deliver all the necessary knowledge that you need to get started. Another big advantage of our program is that we arrange the 3-month practicum for you. The practicum is needed for you to, upon graduation, sit your certification exam with the Canadian Institute of Public Health Inspectors. And without your practicum, you will not be able to sit your certification exam. There are some other schools in Canada that offers a similar program, but none of them arrange the practicum for you. You're very much on your own, going out and finding those practicum opportunities. Whereas a big advantage of our program is that we do arrange that practicum for you. My apologies, I have a little bit of a cough. So we are the only program in BC anyway that that allows you upon graduation to sit that certification exam, because otherwise you will not be eligible to sit that certification exam without completing one of the approved programs here in Canada. The certificate itself, once you get it, does enable you to work as a public health inspector or an environmental health officer anywhere in Canada. It is a Canada-wide recognized certificate. So that is one big advantage of our program as well. So preferred qualities in terms of who should be looking after this career. So ideally someone who is mature, practical, and assertive. You'll be able to work both independently and in teams, and good, strong interpersonal and communication skills, and then problem solving and decision making. So you might go, well, these traits are kind of vague and generic and probably applies to everything, that most jobs or most professions, and that's true, but it's really the case for our program and for this profession. Once you are in the field and graduated, done school in the field, you are independent, right? You are out there going to facility to facility, interacting with the public, interacting with operators, and you very much have to stand up for yourself and be able to fulfill your duties as a health officer. A lot of that is dependent on your skills to communicate. How do you communicate with operators? How do you communicate with members of the general public? How do you educate someone on making those right decisions? And also, how do you make those decisions when you are faced with certain, situations? Are you able to assess what the risk of something is, etc.? So being able to think on your feet, going into those different environments every day, taking those new situations in stride, I think those are all skills and qualities that would make a great health officer. Next slide, please. So benefits of the environmental health career. It is definitely a very diverse job. I sort of touched on it at the beginning in terms of all the different things you look at. In the urban environment, so in the city, there's the positions themselves tend to be a little bit more specialized, meaning you have certain inspectors that look after food, certain inspectors that look at water, etc. But if you were working in a more rural environment, your range of practice is everything. So you may be seeing different things every day or multiple things in a single day. It is very diverse. No 2 days are the same, even in the city, because one facility is never the same as the next. And many people do enjoy that aspect. It's not routine. You encounter and you do different things every day. You get to work with the public, right? You get to meet new people, learn about new things every day, see new situations, learn yourself, for yourself, new different things every day as well. So that's definitely a big benefit as well. You're also working for the betterment of the community, right? It's not one of those jobs where you're kind of like, well, I'm making money for, some rich billionaire will be. But in this position, in this career, you are there to serve the public, to do it for the betterment of the community. So that's something that's not nothing, right? That you definitely get much more, and I at least I personally did much more personal satisfaction from doing, and much more fulfillment from doing that type of job, rather than sort of just punching a card of serving as a cog for a big company or something like that. You get to apply the science knowledge. As you go through school, I'm sure many of you have experienced, you tend to accumulate a knowledge and you kind of go, what am I ever going to use this for? This doesn't seem very practical day to day. Well, in this career, you're definitely applying those scientific principles. you need to understand them well so that you can explain them to other people. You have to be able to tell people and educate people why they should do certain things a certain way, to make it safe, right? You're also outside every day. You're not stuck in the office. You're not stuck behind a computer every day. You're going out and about, going to different places. When I was in the field, I worked in a rural area. I would drive for 3 hours out to, a ski lodge and doing my inspection of the kitchen there and things like that, and then drive back to the office, and that would be my day, etc. That's not that's not every day, but that's just an example of the different types of work you could be doing outside and not stuck in the office. And you're also entrusted with a great deal of responsibility because you're there as an enforcement officer for the Public Health Act. So you're there to sometimes make judgment on how other people operate and do their business. So you are entrusted with a lot of responsibility because sometimes you can very well affect people's well-being, affect others' livelihood. So that's why we say somebody who has strong decision-making skills and who is mature with a mature attitude really goes a long way to becoming a successful environmental health officer. So in terms of who employs environmental health officers, excuse me, most of our graduates do end up working for the public sector, so meaning provincial governments. So for example, in BC, the regional health authorities hires most of our graduates. So Vancouver Coastal Health, Fraser Health, Interior Health, Northern Health, and Island Health. So in those, they hire environmental health officers to do those jobs. Federally, there's Health Canada, who also hires environmental health officers to look after certain federal things. Public Health Agency of Canada, CFIA, which is the Canadian Food Inspection Agency, they hire quite a number of grads as well, going out and inspecting the food system. There's also First Nations health authorities that hires our grads as well to do inspections on reserve lands, etc. There are some private sector industries as well who hires our graduates, such as major food processors or grocery chains. And they're doing mostly internal quality assurance in that case. There's also private consulting firms that hire graduates, and those private consultants are going out to major chains, etc., and they're doing their own internal inspections that they pay for, etc. And then there's also public health, more generic public health opportunities, such as with the health authorities who, pardon me, such as with the health authorities who hire people to do public health promotion, etc. So they're very much one of those possible career paths as well. So this is Zach. He was sort of the person in the video. So he's actually taken we need to update the slide, but he's most recently taken a slightly different career path. He was working in Burnaby, here in the Burnaby office, as an environmental health officer. And he was a graduate of this program, I believe, I want to say 2011. And he was working there. And then most recently, he's left and started a career, changed sort of a sidestep career over to the environmental services over and with the city of Burnaby. So he is a good example of how you can grow and expand your career options as you move, as you develop more experience and skills, etc., and training. And so he was also in our video. So he's just a great example of how, what someone's progression in the career may be going forward. He was in Burnaby when COVID happened. So at that time, they had to repivot. Everybody left the field and went into contract tracing, etc. So he had lots of stories to share of the interesting times when all those things happened as well. Next slide, please. So admissions information. I believe there's more slides after this. Next slide, please. So the start date for applications for fall 2024, it has already opened. So it opened back on October 1st. Our program selection method is basically first come, first serve, meaning if you meet the criteria for entry, we will accept you. And basically we keep the doors open until the program fills up and until we have a short wait list built up. So currently there are still seats available, so I would encourage everybody who is interested to apply. But for fall 2024, it has already opened. Next slide, please. So application steps. First, of course, you would apply, and the admissions department looks at your entrance requirements. They also look at all your documentation, make sure that everything you have is complete and that you do meet those minimum application standards. And then once they've vetted those applications, those applications come to me, and I take a more detailed look at it in terms of, what your previous experience was like, what you've done up to this point, etc., and get a better feel of how good of a fit you would be for the program. So for our program, we do have a self-assessment form that we ask you to fill, and as part of the self-assessment form, there is a component where we ask you to go speak with an environmental health officer and just to ask questions about the career and to learn more about the career. And we found that to be very useful for people who just aren't sure what the job is about. And, to hear from someone who's actively working that job is definitely helpful in helping you make the right decision for yourself. We also ask that you submit a CV with your application, because we want to see your previous work experience. We do ask for 1 year of related work experience. And the question often comes back to me in terms of what's related. And related is something working with people. So it could be customer service. It could be a server in a restaurant. It could be in a call center talking to people. It could be anything. It could be just working in an office with in a professional environment. But we ask that we're looking for experience of you working with people. So if you said, oh, I worked in a warehouse, okay, maybe not as relevant. But if it's something where you work with others, that's what we're looking for. Because what we're looking for is those soft skills, those soft people skills is what we're looking for. So those are sort of the additional aspects of our application package that we're looking for. So for our program, we do have, we're looking for 3 credits of post-secondary English or humanities or social science. And then also just 3 credits of English on its own as well. The reason we ask for that is, again, communications, both written and verbal, is very important to your success after this program. Then we're also looking for 60 credits of post-secondary in total. And 18 of those 60 should be at the second year level in at least 2 subject areas, and with 67%. That's there because we're looking for the first 2 years of a 4-year degree, right? You've done your first 2 years somewhere else. We are also looking for 1 biology course. It can be at the first year level, and 1 chemistry course. It can be also at the first year level. And then also 6 credits of additional science. Again, at any level. So those are our general academic entrance requirements. We also ask that you have we also ask that you have a statistics course. It's not listed on here prior to your second year. So you could enter the program and get your statistics done sometime during the summer after your first year. And that is for as a prerequisite to a specific course within the second year. So on the right-hand side of the slide there, you see those non-academic requirements. I touched on the career discussion with the environmental health officer already, the 1 year of work experience, but then also a driver's license. So you might ask, why do I need a driver's license for this program? It's for the practicum. When you go out on practicum, at one point you will need to be able to drive yourself around when that happens, because you will be going from facility to facility doing inspections on your own. So you need that transportation. Class 5 is preferred, but at the minimum you need a class 7 before the practicum starts, because otherwise you will have to, you won't be able to start your practicum. So that'll be unfortunate. I touched on the admissions process. The admissions department looks at your applications, and then once they're done, they come to me, and then I I let the admissions department know whether or not you are suitable and whether or not we will offer you acceptance. And then the admissions department reaches out to you directly afterwards in regards to your applications. Occasionally, I might send you an email. So what might happen is I see your application. I'm really not sure about something that you've listed on your program on your application. And so I might send you an email directly and say, could you please provide clarification on some aspect of your application? That occasionally that does happen. So you may hear from me or you may not, but we try to definitely get back to you as soon as possible in terms of the whole application process. So afterwards, what happened? So after we are a degree program, so afterwards you do graduate with a bachelor's degree in environmental public health, and then you go on to get your certificate as a public health inspector in Canada. When that's done, I would say many of our graduates and many people in the career do go on to do their masters, and so those individuals who want to take that next step, so such as going into management, coming here to teach, etc. They do go and do masters afterwards, but that's definitely not needed or required for a successful career. That is something that many individuals do choose to do, but it's not needed as part of the career for sure. Um, but masters I would say becoming more and more common, but not required. BCIT does provide a variety of services available to support student success. So those include Indigenous initiatives, student aid and financial awards, accessibility services. So accessibility, maybe you may have a diagnosed condition, and so you may require some sort of additional time, etc., in regards to your studies. So accessibility is who you work with to establish those needs. There is a health clinic on campus as well for those individuals who may need those services. There's comprehensive counseling and student development available. I think that's becoming a bigger and bigger priority area for all post-secondary institutions, and that's definitely the case with BCIT as well. And then BCIT also has a full gym and workout area for those individuals to be for student use as well, that you have access to as a student here. Next slide, please.
Hi, Dale. I'm just going to add to that one and then introduce the next slide. With this, BCIT's awards, scholarships, and bursaries are listed in our financial aid and awards webpage. I'd like to mention that we have a President's Entrance Award. Selection is based on academic achievement, but also on volunteer and community service. We ask that you just contact financial aid directly for more information. I will put that link in the chat following the presentation. Now, BCIT has a comprehensive social media presence, specifically the School of Health Sciences. You can connect with us on Facebook, Twitter, X, Instagram, YouTube, TikTok, and LinkedIn. So please tag us in your posts, or if you want to find out more about our student perspectives or what we're doing in classes, where we're visiting, you can follow any of these accounts. With that, there are also these links. So if you would like to do a campus visit, spend a day in the program with Dale, come to a different info session, or make an appointment with a program advisor. These are all those links. Don't rush to take a screenshot or write them down. You will all get emailed the slide deck and the video to the whole presentation post-event. And now program advising. Additionally, please don't hesitate to contact program advising if you have a question or are unsure of something. We can answer questions, we meaning Maggie, regarding entrance requirements, the application process, student resources, success strategies, program schedules, and many others. Program advising is available to assist you on specific days via telephone, email, or in-person or virtual appointments. Go to their webpage, bcit.ca/advising, for their most up-to-date contact information and service hours. If your inquiry is time sensitive, please call during the telephone advising hours. That is the best option to get your questions answered quickly. With that, I would like to open it up to a Q&A. So please feel free to post in the chat any questions you may have, or you can just take yourself off mute right now and ask away.
And for the person who asked about ICES, yes. So and then Maggie did offer you several options. I would say all of those universities are good places to take those courses. I would say these days another great option is online. There's so many institutions that offer online courses these days. Especially online self-paced, meaning you start the course whenever you want, you work at your own pace and you complete it. So some people who are sort of desperately trying to get the necessary credits, they can get those courses done very quickly if they apply themselves. And so you're not on a set schedule. I've found that over the past couple of years, I would say that especially after COVID, those options have exploded. And there's so many good options out there from good reputable university institutions to take those such courses out there now. Yeah, online. Any other questions?
Jessica, do you have a question?
Yeah, I already graduated from my university in my country. Like it was 4 years already. And I got a lot of credits, like such as chemistry. So I wonder if I like don't have enough credits from my university. And before entrance, I need
So Yonsik, may I ask which where was your university, your last university?
it is from Korea. The name was Yeongnam University.
My guess, without having looking your case specifically, just having seen previous people with similar backgrounds, I would say chances are if you have a full degree,
Yeah.
you probably have enough credits. The credit that you'll be missing is the English credit.
Oh, yeah, I'm
English,
doing the English credits like right now.
okay.
Yeah, so maybe 67% of the English, right? Yeah,
Yes,
I'm doing the PLE right now, so I just
Okay.
need the yeah.
So my guess is if your previous degree was, some sort of science-based degree,
Mhm.
and it was a 4-year degree that you've already completed, chances are you will have enough credits. You'll have enough credit.
Oh.
Because you only need 60 credits, right? With a 4-year degree, you're more likely to be over 100. Even with the conversion to Canadian credits, generally, it's not too different. The difference, the one you'll be missing is English. So if you're doing that already, that's great.
Yeah, but I just applied for the ICES agency
ICS,
right now.
yeah, it will take a while. It takes up to 7 weeks for them to get back to you. So you do have to wait to that because admissions only looks at ICES or one of the other big credential I can't remember what assessment organizations. So I think ICS, WES, they only look at those assessed copies of your previous education, of your international education. So unfortunately, you will have to wait for that to come back, and it takes 7 weeks. I think it takes up to 7 weeks.
Yeah, I already contact with them. Like, they even doesn't know about my course which I want to apply for it. But maybe after that they will contact me or.
I don't know. You'll have to ask, communicate with ICS directly. Because we don't work with ICS, so they are sort of a separate department organization. All we do look at is their final assessment report of your degree, of your past degree. So what happens is in it, it'll say this was a 4-year degree from Korea. This is equivalent to maybe 3 years or 4 years here in Canada. They list all your courses. You'll say, oh, this was previously, a 3-credit course in Korea. This is actually only a 2-credit course here. Or they'll say this is a 3-credit course. Oh, this is also a 3-credit course. They look at it on a comprehensive course by course level, right? So that's how and then admissions here looks at your transcript from there and makes that determination.
Okay, thank you.
Sorry, Dale, may I just interject?
Mhm.
I think Jan Sik just mentioned that they were attending BCIT's PELD, P-E-L-D courses to meet the English requirements. So just to let you know, Jan Sik, our PELD courses are a high school level English equivalency, not post-secondary.
Oh,
So Dale, correct me if I'm wrong, but your program requires 3 credits of post-secondary English, humanities, or social sciences, Jan Sik. So once you're done the PELD up to the COM 0005 level, you'll then enroll yourself into a post-secondary English, either at BCIT or at another post-secondary. But yeah, the PELD courses alone will not meet this program's English requirements.
yes.
Oh, so I
We
need
need
to I
post-secondary.
need the other course such as like secondary English course, right?
Yes.
So is
Yes,
there
so I
any
can I'll link you one as an example that it would be acceptable, for example, at
oh
BCIT, but that one
okay.
requires English 12 with 70, I think it's, let me just see here, English 12 with C plus minimum, which would be COM 0005 with a minimum of 70. So let me just put that in there for you. So that's a course, for example, that you could take at BCIT that would be accepted for Dale's program.
Oh, so I
Yes.
should take this course, right?
Oh.
Before my requirements.
It's required. We need a
Oh,
university level English course. Yes.
okay. Oh, I miss it.
That's okay. I mean, you're working through the steps for the English, so that's great. You'll do the PELD up to the 0005, and then as I mentioned, that's essentially an English 12 equivalency. And then once you've done that course, you can then do one additional 3 credit post-secondary English course, for example, like the one I linked in the chat there.
And Yonsik, and for everybody on the line, if English is a second language for you and it's something that you're actively working on, I would encourage you to work on it. While during the program, before the program, after the program. The communication, I cannot emphasize enough, is crucial to finding success, not just in the program, but finding a job afterwards. All the employers, all they ever tell me is, we want people who can talk. We want people who can communicate. And having those skills ready to go makes all the difference. So I'm not trying to scare anyone off, but it's just a reality. So I think it's actually the case for most careers these days, is having the ability to communicate is a huge advantage. So don't be scared off by the English. Take those courses, improve those skills, because it will help you throughout your career.
And Dale, another question, and I'm pretty sure I know the answer, but I'll just have you answer it. Is this program online or in person? I believe it is fully in person at the Burnaby campus. Is that correct?
Yes, we are fully in person, full time in the Burnaby campus. We fill your schedule up, and it is full time, so it'll be hard to do anything else. Yeah, in person.
And the next question, do I need to have all credit requirements fully completed prior to applying, or can you be registered for those courses when you apply for the 2024 intake? So from my understanding, you can have it in progress when you apply, just as long as everything's done by before September 2024. Is that correct?
I've had some conversation with the admissions department about this, Maggie. So what it is if you are missing credits per se. So if you're short of the 60 credits, it cannot be in progress. You need to have your 60 credits ready to go.
Okay.
However, if you're missing English, for instance, or if you are missing biology or chemistry, you can be in progress, but you need to be more than halfway done. And you need to basically get your instructor to fill out a form saying you're going to pass and get that 67%. So at that point, admissions will offer you a conditional acceptance with the caveat that you'll provide your final marks once you are done. So we occasionally do get people, who are working on their prerequisites over the summer. But then, their completion date is end of August. But of course, we don't want to wait until end of August to figure out whether or not someone is ready to go. So they often submit those partial completion reports, in June or July. But they're usually more than halfway done, and they get their instructors to fill out. I can't remember what the form is, but there's a specific form that admissions can share with you at that point. Yeah.
Yeah, I linked it in the chat, Dale, for everyone.
Okay. Yes, the midterm grade submission form.
Does anyone else have any more questions that you either like to type in the chat or verbal unmute yourself and ask? Feel free to do so.
Well, with that, if we don't have any more questions, I'd like to thank Dale, Maggie, and Jessica for being here, and I'd like to thank everyone that participated in the session. You will be receiving an email next week with a link to the slide deck and the recording, as well as the YouTube video that you just saw. Please feel free to reach out to Dale if you have any questions about the program at all.
Yes, feel free to email me. My email is just my name, dale_chen@bcit.ca. And I'm happy to answer any questions. Maggie, I think Yonsik had a follow-up question about her PELD course. I'm not as familiar with PELD.
Sorry, Yonsik, I don't see a course that you linked. Did you link a course? I'm not sure.
Yeah, you already sent me the link.
Yep.
Like to the post-secondary English course, which is like academic writing.
Yes.
Yeah, I connect with that. So if I just take this one and then I can be available for requirements about the English course, right?
Yep,
And then after that, yeah,
Sorry, go
this
ahead.
only one, right?
Correct. Yeah. If you take that ENGL 1177 through BCIT and earn a 67% or greater, that would meet the requirement for the program for English. That's correct.
Okay, thank you.
No problem. Thank you so much, everyone. So I guess that wraps everything up, right, Julie?
Yes, it does. Thank you. Take care, everyone. Have a great night.
Thank you so much. Take care.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.